She woke up to a message, like she had every morning for 94 days straight. It was the first thing she reached for, before coffee, before anything else. On day 95, there was nothing. When she opened the app, he was gone. The platform was gone, and $380,000, her retirement savings, her emergency fund, a small inheritance from her mother, had disappeared into a financial system built specifically to make sure it never came back. What was left wasn't just heartbreak. It was the wreckage of one of the most sophisticated financial crimes ever documented, so precisely engineered that the FBI's own cybercrime division describes it as unlike anything they have seen before. This is Case File 5. This is the story of Sarah, and this is exactly how they did it.
First, we need to destroy the most dangerous lie told about this crime. And it isn't told by the criminals. It's told by everyone else, that victims are naive, careless, that they should have known better. That assumption is not just wrong, it is the exact reason this crime keeps working. Sarah was 58 years old, a retired science teacher with a master's degree who raised 2 children alone after losing her husband in 2019. She managed her own retirement accounts and read the fine print on financial products. She was sharp, careful, and financially literate. She was also quietly, deeply lonely, in the way grief leaves you after years of carrying it alone. That loneliness wasn't a character flaw. It was a human consequence of loss, and it was the precise opening that a criminal organization thousands of miles away had spent years learning how to find and exploit. It didn't start on the dating app, it started with a text to the wrong number. Warm, apologetic, slightly embarrassed in tone. His name was James, a widowed architect in Singapore. Thoughtful, emotionally present, the kind of man who remembers things you said weeks ago. What Sarah could not have known is that this was not a mistake. It is a documented social engineering technique called the wrong number lure, used specifically because it bypasses the defenses people carry on dating platforms. On an app, you're guarded. You know you're being presented with strangers who want something. But a wrong number text feels like fate rather than targeting. The target feels chosen, not hunted. That feeling is the engineered outcome of the operation's very first move. James was not a person. He was a script inside a transnational criminal operation with a Mandarin name that translates with brutal agricultural precision to Shah Zhu Pan. Pig butchering. You fatten the animal slowly, you build its trust, and when the time is right, you slaughter it. For 94 days, James was the most present person in Sarah's life, and he never once asked for money. Not for 3 weeks. He was simply a person. Warm, consistent, attentive. He remembered her chamomile tea. He texted in her time zone. In behavioral fraud research, this phase is called trust scaffolding, a deliberate, timed process of building emotional dependency before any financial element appears. The mechanism it exploits is the sunk cost effect. The deeper a person's emotional investment, the harder it becomes to walk away, even when something feels wrong. These operations understand this better than most psychologists do, because the depth of that investment directly determines how much money they can eventually extract. Then one evening, almost as an afterthought, James mentioned a cryptocurrency platform his aunt had introduced him to years ago. He wasn't selling anything, just sharing. And Sarah, who had watched her retirement portfolio drop 8% that year, asked a single question. That question opened the financial phase of the operation. This is the part most reporting gets completely wrong. And it is the key to understanding why this fraud works when others don't. Sarah didn't just invest money and watch it vanish. She put in $3,000. 48 hours later, she withdrew $6,800 into her real bank account. And in that one moment of a real successful withdrawal, the entire psychological trap locked shut. The FBI calls this the false proof of concept, and it is not a flaw in the operation. It is the operation. The platform was a professionally built fake brokerage interface, real-time charts, portfolio analytics, return percentages, visually indistinguishable from a regulated trading platform. A phishing interface designed not to steal a password, but to steal trust across weeks. After that withdrawal, Sarah wasn't testing something cautiously. She was a believer. She transferred more. The dashboard showed it growing. She eventually transferred everything. Retirement savings, emergency fund, her mother's inheritance. Not because she lost her judgment, but because every signal she had confirmed this was real. By day 88, the platform displayed a balance of $843,000. She and James were planning to meet in London in the spring. Then she tried to withdraw. The platform returned a message, a 15% tax clearance fee, a compliance requirement under international cryptocurrency law, $78,000. She called James. He was calm, sympathetic, said he'd faced the same thing himself. Standard procedure for large international withdrawals. She paid. Then a legal verification hold appeared. Then a government compliance charge. Each time, James was patient, warm, present, and each fee was framed as the final obstacle. This is the phantom compliance trap, the harvest phase of the operation, where manufactured official-sounding fees extract whatever cash remains from someone who believes they're one payment away from their money. The fees never end, because there is no money. The balance was never real. It was a number in a database rendered to look like wealth. On day 94, she made the final payment. She opened the app to message James, blocked on every platform. The website was gone. The number disconnected. The email bounced. In 11 minutes, 94 days of constructed reality ceased to exist. Sarah sat at her kitchen table for 6 hours. She didn't call anyone. James was not a person. He was a shift rotation. Criminal syndicates operating out of fortified compounds in Myanmar, Cambodia, and Laos run industrial-scale fraud operations, staffed largely by trafficking victims held under threat of violence, working from scripted emotional playbooks and investment pitch templates. Each worker manages up to 200 simultaneous fake relationships at any given time. The person messaging Sarah about chamomile tea at 10 in the evening was running identical scripts with targets across 6 other countries in that same hour. The line "I haven't felt this way in years" had been typed by that worker over 200 times that month. And the moment the money arrived, it was already gone. Dispersed within minutes across layered crypto wallets, cross-chain bridge transactions, and peer-to-peer exchanges in jurisdictions with zero legal cooperation agreements. This is transaction layering, organized crimes laundering methodology now running at digital speed. The global recovery rate for pig butchering fraud is less than 2%. There is one rule. If anyone introduces you to a trading or investment platform, regardless of how long you've known them, how much you trust them, or how much you appear to have already made, do not use it. Use platforms with years of public regulated history. Coinbase, Kraken, Binance. Not a link from someone you've never met. And if you are already inside one of these platforms and they are asking for a fee before you can withdraw, stop right now. That is the phantom compliance trap. There is no withdrawal waiting. Contact your bank. And if you've moved crypto, call your exchange immediately. Some transactions can still be flagged before full layering is complete. Do not pay the fee. Sarah filed a report with the FBI and recovered nothing. The funds had cleared 6 jurisdictions in 40 minutes, but she agreed to let her story be told, because the one thing these operations cannot survive is people talking openly. Every person who can recognize the wrong number lure, the trust scaffolding, the false proof of concept, the phantom compliance trap, is one fewer person who gets slaughtered. These syndicates are counting on your silence. Don't give it to them. This has been Case File 5. I'm Digital Tracer. I'll see you in the next file.